Hello. Welcome and thank you for joining us during your lunch break to zoom into the void with the Danville Science Center for the month of April 2021, presented by our friends at Danaki Associates. I'm Ben Wright, Immersive Experiences Coordinator for the Danville Science Center and your host for our tour of the night sky for the month of April 2021. Our virtual online interstellar discussion is, as always, a discussion. It is interactive. If you are joining us via Zoom, you can post any questions or comments to me using the chat with host feature. And if you are joining us via Facebook, you can submit the same in a post below this feed. And at the end, I will go back and attempt to answer some of those. I don't do it during, that's not my style. At the end, we will attempt that. But now that we are all settled in, we will begin by diving into discovery as we always do by starting outside of the Digital Dome Theater here at the Danville Science Center. We, of course, are facing the southern sky, and if we step back a few steps, we'll see that to our left is the east, to our right is the west, which means that north is directly behind us. Looking at our clock in the corner, we can tell that it is the 13th of April, 2021, and just a few moments past noon. Looking skyward, we can spot our central star, the sun, shining brightly overhead. Today is the first day of the month of Ramadan, which began not at sunrise, but rather at sunset. Not all people in all places use the same tools for measuring time. You may have already come to this conclusion due to curiosity around the Chinese New Year being in February. The month of Ramadan is the 9th month on the Islamic calendar. Adherent Muslims often spend daylight hours abstaining from food or liquids in a practice of religious fasting and prayerful devotion. Daylight hours, as Muslims, like Jews, observe a calendar that is more focused on the behavior of the moon. These calendars are more closely based on the complete cycles of phases of the moon. For solar calendars like the Gregorian, a day starts with the first appearance of the sun, dawn. For more lunar calendars, a day begins with the first appearance of the moon, dusk. The month of Ramadan always begins with the 9th appearing crescent moon of a given Islamic year. Fast forwarding through time tonight, to just after sunset, which will be about 8 o'clock, we can actually spot our waning crescent moon at about 3% illumination, giving us just a little bit of light as it descends past the horizon. If we wait for another hour, till just after twilight, where we don't see the glimmer of the moon anymore, we can actually spot the edge of our universe. This smudge that you can kind of see on the screen behind the telephone poles kind of fading in and out, that actually represents the Milky Way, which can appear as a smudge in the night sky. Some say that it looks like spilt milk. That's actually how it got its name. Our solar system lies within the Milky Way galaxy, allowing us to view it from Earth. The individual stars we identify in the night sky are those closest to us within the Milky Way, while those further away appear as a hazy band of light without easily distinguishable stars. A galaxy is the second largest unit for measuring space, following just behind the universe, which is the term that includes all things. There are trillions, with a T, trillions of galaxies within the universe. At one time, it was hypothesized that there are as many stars in the sky as there are grains of sand on the Earth. Now we believe there are as many galaxies, each containing billions of stars. The Milky Way is categorized as a spiral galaxy. Spiral galaxies are flat spinning disks with a central bulge surrounded by spiral arms. 2/3 of all observed galaxies are this shape. Elliptical galaxies are elliptically shaped, round but stretched out along one axis longer than the other, so much so that some take on a cigar-like shape. These galaxies contain the largest observed, known as giant elliptical galaxies, though they can also be small. Elliptical galaxies also tend to contain older stars with little dust and interstellar matter available for birthing new ones. lenticular galaxies, such as the Sombrero Galaxy M104, resemble something between elliptical and spiral. They have thin rotating disks of stars and a central bulge, but don't have spiral arms. They also have little dust and interstellar matter. Lenticular galaxies form more often in densely populated regions of space. Galaxies that don't neatly fit into one of the other three categories are called irregular galaxies. They can appear misshapen, lacking a distinct form. This is often due to their being within the gravitational influence of another galaxy close by. They are full of gas and dust, making them great nurseries for forming new stars. Galaxies can and do sometimes merge together, forming a new, larger galaxy. The Milky Way is expected to merge with the neighboring Andromeda Galaxy, M31, in about 4.5 billion years. Other than through collisions, astronomers aren't really sure of how galaxies form. One of the goals of the James Webb Space Telescope, scheduled to launch this October, is to look through space and time to find answers to that very question. Like stars, many galaxies have both a common name and a scientific classification. The Sunflower Galaxy, there we go, is also known as M63. M33 is known as the Triangulum Galaxy. The M in these classifications stands for influential French astronomer Charles Messier. In the year 1758, Messier became the first in France to observe the return of Halley's Comet. Fascinated, he dedicated the rest of his life first to find it in France. He spent the rest of his life looking for more comets. He didn't find them, but instead started cataloging everything that wasn't a comet. He identified them with the letter M followed by a number. He cataloged some 110 not comets. Galaxies can also be classified with the prefix NGC, which stands for New General Catalog, and contains some 7,800 objects. Utilizing a good pair of binoculars in tonight's sky, we can actually spot some galaxies that are well positioned. If we begin by looking up towards the the northwest, we can actually spot M51. Just below the tail of Ursa Major, the great bear of the night sky. M51 is known as the Whirlpool Galaxy, and while you can kind of see it tonight, it's even better viewed tomorrow night, the 14th, when it reaches its highest point just around midnight. In Friday's sky, we can actually spot another galaxy, again using a good pair of binoculars or a telescope, M83, known as the Southern Pinwheel Galaxy, which from our viewpoint is below the Science Center. But if we zoom in a little bit, we get a better view of that. And then finally, on the 22nd of this month, we have yet another opportunity to spot a galaxy using, again, some wonderful tools. M101 are the Pinwheel Galaxy, I guess just the normal pinwheel or the northern pinwheel, if you want to compare it to the southern. It will be, again, best viewed on the night of the 22nd around midnight. Also on the 22nd, if you continue your gaze, you could spot another exciting event, as on the 22nd, we experience the peak of the Lyrid meteor shower. Optimal viewing times are about 9 p.m. for seeing the Lyrids, though they will occur anytime after 9 and before 5 a.m. on the 22nd. At that time, the Earth's rotation turns Danville to face optimally towards the direction of incoming meteors. This will maximize the number of shooting stars that rain down vertically, producing short trails close to the radiant point of the constellation Hercules. Other times will be turned away so that the shooting stars come in at an oblique angle, which makes them sort of streak across the sky longer. The Lyrids average about 17 meteors per hour from our location, but they do produce longer lasting shooting stars despite this shorter amount. A day earlier, on April 21st, will happen one of my personal favorite celestial happenings, and it will happen in the city of Rome. The ancient Roman Empire was one of the greatest history has ever seen, leaving a legacy of philosophies, technology, and architecture that still amaze in the modern era. April 21st is the traditional date for the founding of Rome, and as such, a special occurrence takes place at noon in one of Rome's most famous ancient buildings. The Pantheon is a large cylindrical building that once served as a temple, constructed to honor the entire gambit of Roman gods and goddesses. Its most recognizable feature is its concrete dome, the largest concrete dome ever constructed. It was crafted to represent the heavenly vaults of the gods. In the center of the dome is a large opening called the oculus, meaning eye in Latin. It is the only source of natural light in the Pantheon, and as such, it highlights different parts of the interior at different times in the year. Records reveal that following its construction, each year on April 21st, the ruling emperor of Rome would celebrate the city's founding by entering into the temple at noon, the same time that the sun's rays would align to illuminate the entrance, resulting in the emperor being bathed in light and providing an observable link between the emperor and heavens, between Rome and the gods. Religious scholars call such events hierophanies, an observable event providing evidence of the divine. This is your $10 word for the day. Hierophany. Want to know what other fancy words I know? Do you know any fancy words? Now is your opportunity to submit some questions to me, and I will attempt to go back and answer some of those. Our first question comes from Danny. Danny asks, who is the current emperor of Rome? Sorry, Danny, Rome does not have an emperor anymore. The Roman Empire fell quite a long time ago. I can't give you the exact dates. That is not my expertise. And I don't really know who rules Rome now. However, religiously, Rome is very Christian, very Catholic. In fact, the Vatican, where the Pope, the Catholic Church is sort of centralized, is right there in that region. And the Pantheon itself is actually now a Catholic cathedral. So there are still religious services going on there. It's just not those related to the Roman religion, the Roman mythology. We have a question from Misty. Misty asks, where is the best place to view the meteor shower, to view the Lyrids? Really, just like any other shower, your best bet is to get away from artificial light. Here in Danville, your best bet's to go out into the county, anywhere that's dark and that has a low tree line. We can lose some of our views thanks to the trees and other obstacles, but if you have very few trees and it's nice and dark, you want to head to that location a little bit earlier before you want to view so that your eyes can get adjusted to the darkness. Make sure to turn off any artificial light like your cell phone or headlights from a car. And once your eyes get adjusted, you'll be able to view some of those lights streaking across the sky. Again, the Lyrids peak on the 22nd, but will be viewable for the latter weeks of the month. More questions? Oh, we have a silent bunch today. Well, again, we thank you for joining us for this month's viewing of the night sky for April 2021. Thank you for joining us at the Danville Science Center for our viewing, as always presented by Danakid Associates. We hope that you will join us again next month, the second Tuesday of May, May 11th, when again, we look at some of the happenings in our night sky. Until that time, we hope that you stay healthy, stay safe, and as always, stay curious. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye.